So, said, could we really go for Martin Zubimendi in the January transfer window or try to buy him for next summer window like Haaland did with Manchester City? So, one of the questions, Ian, and thank you for your super chat, by the way, one of the questions that I did ask David was, is there any chance that we revisit this transfer? And it seems no. You know, I think the club are really angered by this whole situation because we were led up the garden path, you know. It was told that he wanted to move. I even tried to probe David on whether us hanging around and not triggering that release clause slowed the deal down enough for them to get into the player's head and change his mind. But unfortunately, it is what it is on that front. There's nothing I can say or you can say or anyone can say that's going to make it better. It's another failure. You have to face up and front up to these things. It's a failure from the club to not get this done. And it's an even more disgraceful act to then come out and start talking about not signing a number 6 in this window. You can't go into year number 4. You know, one of the things, and I give immense credit to David for a conversation when we spoke, was, are the club being too picky? Are they looking for 1 in a million when they're not willing to pay the money for a 1 in a million? Perhaps maybe we need to reevaluate a little bit with regards to what we should be looking for. How high is this threshold for a 6? You, I, and many other Liverpool fans around the world right now will have lots of names on a list that we'd all throw forward, ranging from De Jong to Decore to Wharton to Ederson to Koopa Miners. There's many names we can throw out there, but it is just that at this moment in time. It's us trying to figure out, one, how on earth the club managed to make such a mess of this, and how we're 0 for 4 in conversations, negotiations to try and sign a number 6. You go all the way back to Tchouaméni, who made it clear he wanted Madrid. Then you had Caicedo, Lavia, and now Zubimendi. But as David said, the club were informed on all the way through the process that he wanted to move. Richard Hughes is out of his depth, said Get Good Entertainment. Michael Edwards has lost it, and FSG are tighter than my ex's sister. Keep up the good work, Craig. Much love, dude. So, I mean, I don't know how to judge Richard Hughes I don't know how to judge him as a sporting director because, well, the only thing we have to judge so far is a failure to get a deal across the line. I'm sure he'll have better days. I'm sure he'll have more positive days at the club. But look, I get it. And I'm certainly not here to defend the ownership structure of the football club. For me, this is a very black and white situation again. Liverpool have shit the bed. We haven't got another signing over the line. And this belief that we may not have any signings coming in. I mean, Ian Doyle, I think it was, of the Echo said that Liverpool probably won't have a signing on board, or almost certainly won't have a signing on board before the season starts anyway, which is Saturday at 12:30. Stevie Boy said it's okay, the two frauds, Hughes and Edwards, are still window shopping. There's nothing that I can say that will defend the indefensible, mate. And we have, once again, been left looking like a joke. So everyone that's venting and angry, I'm right there alongside you. You know my thoughts on these owners, and that's not going to change. They're cheap. It is that simple. They are tin pot owners in my mind. They're just not what we need. You can talk about safety, thread and water, being financially secure. Great. But I didn't grow up dreaming about supporting a financially secure football club. We dreamt about seeing our captain lifting trophies above his head and our new coach coming in and building on the great work that Jurgen did before him. And it feels like he's been thrown under the bus here a little bit as well. Karen took the kids. Thank you for your super chat. Said, Craig, United fan here. Feel like we've swapped owners. FSG are looking a bit mid from up here in my recently constructed Ineos Ivory Tower. You may need a similar minority shares purchase. We've weirdly, mate, we've already done that. Redbird Capital did come in and buy, I think it was 11% of all of FSG's holdings, which there was some various different lines around that time, from it's being used to offset the losses during COVID to it's being used to help fund other bits and pieces. But either way, if I was a United fan, I'd certainly be laughing at us. Because if this happened to you, mate, I'd be laughing. So as I said, I'm happy to give it out. I'm always happy to take it back as well in that regard. And we look like we think we're cleverer than we actually are. Because this was the big one. You bring back Richard Hughes, or you bring in Richard Hughes, you bring back Michael Edwards, you put the team together, it's lauded across the media, and we expect deliverance on transfers. But we got a very different type of not really the deliverance we wanted, is it? But that's what it feels like right now. Feels like I'm sitting there just waiting for something to happen, getting angrier and angrier by the minute. Typical FSG, nobody else is good enough, so we won't spend it all. Back to the Europa League again. Unacceptable, ambitiousless owners, FSG out. Look, I warned all summer. Some of you were with me. Some of you thought I was getting ahead of myself again. And I've always said, I understand your perspective. I understand why maybe you think I'm in the wrong. I understand why maybe you think, hang on, Craig, let the window play out. Don't get ahead of yourself. But every year, it's failure. It's under-delivering and not the over-delivering that they so often love to remind us about. They're under-promising and over-delivering. They had one job, which is to strengthen the squad. To give Arne Slot the ability to go in and challenge for a league title. And once again, as we sit here now, 2 months into the transfer window, bar one day, we have signed 0 players and are looking at offloading 2 or 3 more, by the way, which we'll talk about over the course of the next the next hour and a half. Paul Corcoran, monitoring FC, hoodwinked again, Craig. It's the old bait and switch, mate. You know, promise one thing, get everybody all hyped up, then that thing fails to materialise, and now, unfortunately for us, the switch is nothing. You know, it's back to this age-old nonsense of, well, the number one target that we wanted didn't want to come, so then that's it, hands up in the air and we don't even look. That's what's most unacceptable here to me. That we aren't going to look at a Wharton or an Ederson or a Koopmeiners or somebody else. Because, okay, Zubamendi may have had 98% of what Hughes and Edwards were looking for, but you can't tell me that a good 90% signing wouldn't still give us options and improve the squad. These journalists, the ones that are out there doing the club, bidding for them again, have they no shame? Genuinely, have they no shame? Even James Pearce, somebody who I hold in very, very high regard, came out and said that Liverpool don't have any interest in a goalkeeper in this window. Or something to that effect. Let me just grab the exact quote here from Mr. James Pearce. I'm just going through. Yeah. Liverpool have been monitoring Georgi Mamardashvili, but as things stand, they're not looking to recruit a goalkeeper in this window. So why did we put an offer in? Honestly, I've got nothing but respect for James Pearce, but I'm sorry, that's absolute crap. Again, also, all summer, 75 million was the bare minimum Liverpool would take for Diaz. Don't even come and knocking if you haven't got 75 million. Nobody came knocking. And now all of a sudden over the past 3-4 days, the Athletic are speaking about Diaz again. Speaking about Diaz getting sold. Why? If you know something, say it. I asked David Lynch, do you think the club are proactively looking to sell Diaz? I don't know the answer. But I do know that this nonsense needs to stop. The journalists that do the club's bidding or are sympathetic to the club's PR bullshit surely must know that they're eroding their own reputation. James Pearce is loved by many of the Liverpool fan base for obvious reasons, because I can tell you he is a really nice guy. But you cannot write that type of stuff and then think we're all just going to swallow it with, we're not looking to bring in a goalkeeper in this window. That's absolute pony. Liverpool are 100% interested in bringing in Georgi Mamardashvili. So much so that we were even able to find out that, of course, we can't loan him out to Bournemouth if he came in, because you can't sign a player in one window and loan him out in the same league in the same window. So the conversation very quickly switched to he'd be loaned back to Valencia for the year. And there's also been reports that we've had an offer turned down. And following on from those reports, Liverpool are holding firm at their valuation and won't come back in for the higher number. Now, how is any of that along the lines of Liverpool aren't looking to bring in a goalkeeper in this window? It's not. It's more bullshit. And it hurts me to say that, because I really, really do like James Pearce, but I don't care. If I see this nonsense, I'm calling it out no matter who it is.